We often undergo certain confidence circumstances, sometimes that we struggle to speak something in English. Now, does this mean that our English is not good enough? The answer is no. Our English is really good, but under certain conditions and circumstances, we fail to express because of certain confidence pressures. For example, let's imagine this scenario where a person is driving, and while he's driving, he's texting. So while he's texting, while he is driving, he makes an accident. So when he opens the door and he gets out of the car to check what happened in the accident, he is not going to speak the same way in Arabic he usually speaks when he is not under this sort of circumstances. This is pretty much the case in English. Sometimes we struggle in certain situations just because the way these situations have kind of pressure on us that will not make us produce the same quality and the same organic language that we produce under normal circumstances or natural circumstances. Is there a way to go around that? Of course, there is a way to go around that. But to be honest, these kind of circumstances can be minimized, but they cannot be stopped. Because at a certain point, with your progress in life, you might see or undergo the same kind of circumstances, and you will find yourself struggling to say something in English. Does that mean that you're a bad English speaker? No, you can be a professional English speaker and still maintain some struggle in some aspects in language. And what I noticed most of the time, most of the struggle that happens to people is in the borderline of language, where there are very minor things that we struggle to say. As an example, the struggle to use auxiliary verbs in English, the struggle to make difference between the k and g sound, the struggle with the common daily phrases, the struggle with the idioms, the struggle with using passive voice, the struggle with using present and past progressive in English, the struggle with word choice, the struggle of prepositions, which is completely justifiable considering the fact that a lot of non-native speakers of English have a struggle with this until late advanced level in language. Is this justifiable to say that this is the only reason why we don't speak English naturally and organically? Of course not, because there are other circumstances where you undergo certain psychological pressure, financial pressure, personal pressure, cognitive pressure, let's say societal pressure. And all of this and all this kind of pressure is going to eventually sting you in certain aspects in language and make you less expressive in them and more expressive in other aspects. When you feel down, when you feel angry, when you feel excited, in every one of these occasions, you are not going to express yourself the same way. Your personality alters, and the way you talk is shaped by the kind of context and societal circumstances that exercise pressure on you or downsizes pressure from you. So it's admissible to say that in some circumstances we struggle when we speak, and it's completely okay. So don't feel down when you say something in front of people just because you hesitate to say that, or because you are unable to say it, or maybe you said it and the next time you tried to say it, you had a struggle to say that. It's just highly dependable on the kind of environment you're coming from, the kind of people you socialize with, the kind of circumstances that you undergo, whether psychological, mental, or societal, or financial. The point that I want to make clearly here is that we are human beings and we are not perfect. We can be professional, but we are not perfect English speakers. And it's completely okay to be not perfect English speakers and to make mistakes here and there, because this is the nature of language. There are two kinds of mistakes. There are the mistakes in English and there are the mistakes in life. I'm not going to talk about the mistakes in life. So if you make mistakes in English, you learn from them. If you make mistakes in life, you learn from them. If you fail in English, you learn from that. If you fail in life, you learn from that. The only difference between the mistakes we make in English and the mistakes we make in life is that most of the mistakes that we make in English are positive things. You can never be a perfect English speaker, but you can be a professional English speaker. And you cannot be a professional English speaker without making mistakes and learning from these mistakes that you make. So does making mistakes in English make you a bad English speaker? No. It is just as natural as having a cup of coffee in the morning, or drinking a cup of water, or drinking a glass of water. The idea of making mistakes in English is highly attributed to your lack of reading and lack of enough listening to good sources of language. So try to optimally maximize the amount of listening that you do every day to things you naturally and habitually used to. For example, watching photography documentaries or watching TV shows, or trying to live a character and imitate that character and the way they talk. Embrace differences and don't try to be very perfectionist about the way you say this and the way you say that. It's completely natural to speak with your own way of speaking. It's completely natural to communicate with people and socialize with people and make friendships, whether with people you know or with people you don't know. It's okay to talk to strangers and foreigners if you have the accessibility to that. But the most important element is that you have to embrace that making mistakes in English will generate a better English version of you. So you need to constantly update yourself, keep practicing, keep challenging yourself, because what challenges you changes you, and try to always discover something. Try to be curious, insatiably curious, to a point where you saturate yourself with different kind of phrases, with different kind of phrasal verbs, with different kind of idiomatic expressions, prepositions, the way we say this, the way we say that. Try to kind of curtail your level of lack of confidence in certain categories and write these categories down, and then try to figure out a way where we can overcome them by either constantly practicing, by socializing with people, by constantly listening to podcasts and audio lessons. Listening is really essential element. We always prioritize listening over watching, because that is going to change the way your cognitive skills respond to social stimuli and in English language. Try to embrace that your character in English, your personality in English is completely different from your personality in Arabic. And it's completely okay to be having two different personalities in your mind. So that's a kind of a lesson that I wanted to share with you today, and hopefully is going to help you, put you on track of making good progress in language, and then eventually make you a better English speaker. Have fun, enjoy your day, have a lovely day. مدرب الوليد خالد.